Oh,
So here we take a whole pile of information today. It's all about driving rules, safety tips, that kind of thing.
specific laws, yeah, and best practices.
And we pull out the really important bits, the interesting stuff for you.
Kind of a shortcut to getting well informed.
Exactly. Especially on something like road safety. Affects pretty much everyone.
For sure. And today, we're digging into those, let's say, fundamental rules and knowledge for safe driving.
Right. We've got actual scenarios, specific regulations.
Recommendations too, all aimed at giving you, the listener, a much clearer picture of, how to handle things on the road.
Yeah, our mission, if you like, is to give you that practical knowledge, stuff that can genuinely make you safer, more informed out there.
Hopefully spark a few aha moments.
Let's hope so. Okay, let's dive in. First big topic, just preventing collisions altogether. What's the absolute baseline?
Space. Simple as that, really. Maintaining extra space between your vehicle and the one in front. That's just crucial.
It seems obvious, but why extra space?
Because it buys you time. Reaction time. That extra second, maybe 2 seconds of following distance, even just driving around town.
Yeah.
It gives you so much more time if that car ahead suddenly hits the brakes. Think about it at, say, 30 miles an hour. 1 extra second is over 40 feet of stopping distance.
Wow, okay. 40 feet, that really puts it in perspective. It's not just about avoiding a tap, it's having that real window to react.
Exactly.
Okay, now what about the road itself? Those painted lines mean things, right?
Yeah.
They're not just decoration.
Definitely not. Take 2 solid yellow lines down the middle.
Yeah.
That's a clear signal. No passing allowed.
Yeah.
For anyone in either direction.
And there's usually a good reason for that.
Almost always. You see them on curves or near the top of hills, places where you just can't see far enough ahead.
Yeah.
Overtaking there is incredibly dangerous. You just don't know what's coming.
Gotcha. So solid yellows mean stay put, potential danger ahead. Okay. What about when someone wants to pass us, say on the highway?
Right, so if a car's coming up behind you to pass, the correct thing, the safe thing, is just to let them do it.
Meaning?
Maintain your speed, stay steady in your lane, don't speed up, that's dangerous and frustrating, don't swerve. Just make it easy and predictable for them to get by.
Right, don't add any surprises when they're already making a tricky move. Makes sense. Okay, 4-way stops. These can sometimes feel a bit chaotic.
Huh. Yeah, they can seem like it, but the rule is actually pretty straightforward.
Okay.
The first driver to come to a complete stop at the intersection has the right to go first.
First one there goes first, regardless of turning or going straight.
Exactly. It's purely about the order of arrival. People sometimes get confused thinking you yield if you're turning left or something.
Yeah, I can see that.
But nope. At a 4-way stop, first in, first out.
Okay, that's a really clear rule. Good to know. What about traffic lights? Specifically, that solid yellow light, it always feels like a bit of a dilemma.
It is a judgment call, definitely. The rule is stop if you can do so safely.
Safely being the key word.
Absolutely. The yellow means the light's about to turn red. Slamming on your brakes isn't safe, could cause a rear-end collision. But cruising through when you clearly could have stopped isn't right either.
So you need to anticipate it based on your speed and distance.
Exactly. Aim for a smooth, controlled stop if you have the time and space.
Right. Okay. Merging onto a busy highway or interstate, that can be stressful. What's the proper technique?
The main thing is to use the acceleration lane to get your speed up to match the flow of traffic you're joining.
So don't crawl onto the highway.
Definitely not. And don't stop in the acceleration lane unless you absolutely have to. Keep an eye on the traffic, obey the speed limits, find a safe gap, and then merge smoothly.
It's about blending in, not forcing your way in or causing others to brake hard.
Precisely. It requires awareness and adjusting your speed accordingly.
Okay. Now, sometimes you see a flashing red arrow at a light. What's that telling us?
A flashing red arrow is treated just like a stop sign.
Oh, really?
Yep. You have to come to a complete stop first. Then, if it's safe, meaning no oncoming traffic or pedestrians, you can proceed with the turn in the direction of the arrow.
So stop, check, then go if clear. Got it. What about when traffic is merging onto the road we're already on? From an on-ramp, say. What's our job?
Your responsibility is to help make space, if you could do so safely. Adjust your speed, maybe slow down a bit.
Or move over.
Or if there's another lane to your left and it's safe to move over, do that. Giving them room to merge in. It's about cooperation, keeping the traffic flowing smoothly and safely for everyone.
A bit of give and take. Okay, let's circle back to passing. On a standard 2-lane highway, 1 lane each way, what are the rules for overtaking?
Pretty simple. You can only pass on the left.
Only on the left.
Correct. Correct. Passing on the right on a 2-lane road like that is generally illegal and unsafe. You wouldn't be expecting traffic on that side.
Generally. But are there times when passing on the right is allowed?
Yes, there are specific situations. The most common one is when the vehicle ahead of you is signaling and actively making a left turn.
Ah, okay.
If they're turning left and there's enough room on the right, like a paved shoulder or maybe multiple lanes going straight, then you can pass on the right carefully. But you can't, like, drive off the road to do it.
Right. It needs to be a proper lane or sufficient paved space. And they have to be clearly turning left.
Exactly. Clear intention, safe space.
Okay. Getting off the highway now. Those exit lanes, deceleration lanes. How should we use those properly?
Their whole purpose is to let you slow down after you've left the main flow of traffic.
So don't brake hard on the highway itself.
Please don't.
Yeah.
Signal your intention to exit, move into the deceleration lane as soon as you safely can, and then start braking to reduce your speed for the ramp or exit road. It keeps the main highway traffic flowing smoothly.
Keeps things safe. Makes sense. All right, let's shift gears, maybe uncomfortably. What happens if something goes wrong with the car itself? Like you suddenly lose steering control. Scary stuff.
Very scary. The absolute first thing to do is get your foot off the accelerator immediately.
Just lift off the gas, don't brake.
Not initially, no. Lifting off the gas lets the car start slowing down naturally using engine braking. It gives you a moment to try and regain control without potentially making things worse with a sudden brake application, which could cause a skid if the wheels aren't pointing straight.
Okay, ease off the gas first. Got it. What if the engine just dies, cuts out completely, especially if you're going around a curve?
Right, another bad situation. If the engine dies, you'll lose power steering and possibly power brakes, but you can still steer and brake. It just takes more effort.
So what's the move?
Grip the steering wheel firmly with both hands. Keep steering to follow the curve as best you can and start looking for a safe place to pull over, ideally onto the right shoulder, completely off the road. Then brake firmly to stop.
Okay, maintain control, steer firmly, get off the road safely. What about going downhill? Long, steep hills, any special technique?
Yes, instead of riding your brakes the whole way down, shift into a lower gear.
Like second or third gear?
Depending on the steepness and your speed, yes. Using a lower gear lets the engine itself help control the speed. It's called engine braking. It saves your actual brakes from overheating and potentially failing. Very important on long descents.
Good tip. Let the engine do some work. Now, sharing the road. We see all sorts of vehicles. What about that orange triangle sign you sometimes see on the back of, like, farm equipment or something?
That's the slow-moving vehicle emblem. It means that vehicle is designed to travel, or is currently traveling, at 25 miles per hour or less.
Oh, okay. So it's a heads up. I'm slow. Be prepared.
Exactly. Gives you warning to slow down and be cautious when approaching or passing.
Important information. What about pedestrians, especially those who might be visually impaired? If you see someone with a white cane or a guide dog trying to cross,
Stop. Completely. No question.
full stop. Give them the right of way.
Absolutely. They have the absolute right of way. You need to wait until they have safely crossed the street. It's a fundamental duty of care.
Crucial. Okay. Driving at night. Oncoming car has its high beams blazing right at you. What do? You can't see.
Yeah, it's blinding. The recommended technique is not to look directly at the lights. Instead, shift your gaze down and to the right, toward the right edge line or the side of the road.
So use the edge of the road as your guide.
Exactly. It helps you maintain your lane position without being completely dazzled by the oncoming lights. Don't engage in, like, a high beam war. Just look away safely.
Good practical advice. Avoid the light. Focus on your path. What about cyclists? We share the road with them more and more. How much space should we give them when passing?
The standard recommendation, and often the legal requirement, is a minimum of 3 feet.
3 feet minimum.
Yes. Think of it as giving them enough room to maneuver or even wobble slightly without you hitting them. More space is always better if you can give it.
3 feet. Easy to remember. Okay, parking. If you have to park on the street, what's the safest way?
Get as far off the traveled portion of the road as possible. Hug the curb, basically.
So, minimize how much your car sticks out into traffic.
Precisely. The further away from moving traffic, the less likely your parked car is to get hit.
Simple enough. What about disabled parking placards? We know they allow parking in designated spots, but can people with those placards park in regular spots too?
Yes, they can. Having a placard gives them access to the designated accessible spots, but it doesn't prevent them from using any other legal parking spot. They still have to follow the rules for that spot, like time limits or paying meters, unless there's a specific exemption.
Okay, so it grants extra access, doesn't remove standard rules elsewhere. Good clarification. Let's talk U-turns. Are there places you absolutely should not make a U-turn?
Definitely. The big no-nos are on curves and near the crest of a hill.
Why there specifically?
Visibility. In those spots, you simply can't see oncoming traffic far enough away, and they can't see you starting that maneuver across their lane. It's incredibly high risk for a collision. If you can't see clearly in all directions for a good distance, don't attempt a U-turn.
Makes perfect sense. Limited sight lines equals danger. Okay, you've parallel parked, now you need to pull out. What's the essential step before moving?
Signal. Always signal your intention to leave the parking space. Check your mirrors, check your blind spot over your shoulder, and signal clearly so drivers approaching from behind know what you're about to do.
Communication again. Signal, look, then move.
Yes. Give them warning.
Let's talk more about signals. Hazard lights, the four-way flashers, when are we supposed to use those?
Hazard lights are for warning other drivers of an unusual situation or a hazard.
Such as?
Like if your car breaks down and you're stopped on the shoulder, or if you're approaching stopped traffic very suddenly on a highway and want to warn the cars behind you, or maybe if you're driving significantly slower than the flow of traffic due to a problem.
So basically, attention, something unusual is happening here.
That's a good way to put it. It's a warning signal. Not for illegal parking, though.
Huh, good point. What about old school hand signals? Do they still matter? Like signaling a left turn with your arm out?
They do. The signal for a left turn is left arm extended straight out. Right turn is arm up at a 90-degree angle, and slowing or stopping is arm down at a 90-degree angle.
And why might we use those if we have electric signals?
Well, sometimes the bulbs burn out. But also, in very bright sunlight, your flashing turn signals might be hard for other drivers to see. Using a hand signal in addition can add an extra layer of visibility. Especially important for motorcyclists, too.
Good point. Redundancy for safety. Okay, shifting to some general driving knowledge. That eye test for your license, what are they actually checking?
Primarily two things: visual acuity and peripheral vision.
Acuity is like how sharp you see.
Exactly. Like reading the eye chart. Can you see details clearly at various distances? Peripheral vision is your side vision, how much you can see out of the corner of your eye while looking straight ahead. Both are critical for spotting hazards.
Makes sense. You need to see what's ahead and what's coming from the side. What about all those road signs, particularly the black and white rectangular ones? What's their main job?
Those are generally regulatory signs. Their purpose is to inform you of traffic laws or regulations.
So they tell you what you must or must not do.
Correct. Things like speed limits, stop signs, yield signs, lane usage directions. They instruct you on the rules of the road. They're commands, essentially.
The rule book, right there on a sign.
Okay.
Physically turning the steering wheel, especially for corners, is there a recommended technique?
The hand-over-hand technique is often taught and recommended for significant turns. It allows for smooth, controlled input while keeping grip. Push-pull steering is another common method. The key is smooth control.
Smooth control, yeah. Now, legal stuff. Beyond just driving skills, what are the absolute must-haves for any driver operating a vehicle?
You absolutely need a valid driver's license for the type of vehicle you're driving. You also need valid vehicle registration, proving the car is properly documented. And you must have current, valid auto insurance that meets your state's minimum requirements.
And driving without a license, even in, say, a rural area, is that ever okay?
Absolutely not. Driving without a valid license is illegal everywhere. No exceptions. Big trouble if you're caught.
Crystal clear. Where do most collisions between cars and motorcycles happen? Are there specific danger zones?
Intersections, by far.
Why intersections?
It's where paths cross. Cars turning left in front of motorcycles is a very common scenario. Visibility issues, misjudging speed or distance. Intersections require extreme caution from everyone, especially when motorcycles are present, as they're harder to see.
Heightened awareness needed there. Okay, bad weather driving. Hydroplaning, what exactly is that?
Hydroplaning is when your tires essentially ride up on a layer of water, losing contact with the actual road surface.
Well, you're basically water skiing.
In a way, yes. And you lose steering and braking control because the tires aren't gripping the pavement. It usually happens at higher speeds in heavy rain or through standing water. Slowing down is the best prevention.
Scary thought. What other things besides weather really ramp up the risk of having an accident?
Oh, several things. Impairment is a huge one. Alcohol consumption, obviously, but also illegal drugs and even some prescription or over-the-counter medications can significantly impair your judgment, coordination, and reaction time.
So being unfit to drive for any reason?
Exactly. Fatigue is another major factor. Driving while drowsy can be just as dangerous as driving drunk. Distraction, two phones, eating, anything that takes your focus off the road.
Right. Stay alert, stay unimpaired. Okay, back to lanes. On a road with multiple lanes going in the same direction, where should the slower traffic be?
Slower traffic should keep to the rightmost lane or lanes.
Keep right except to pass.
That's the general principle, yes. It allows faster traffic to flow more smoothly in the left lanes and reduces the need for constant lane changes.
And conversely, the faster traffic uses
the lanes closer to the left. The leftmost lane is often considered the passing lane, though general traffic flow dictates usage too. But yeah, higher speeds tend to be further left.
Got it. Lane discipline. What about long drives on the highway? That feeling of zoning out. Highway hypnosis, is that a real thing?
Very real. It's a sort of trance-like state caused by monotonous driving, same scenery, steady speed. Your attention dips, reaction times slow down.
How do you fight that?
Keep your eyes moving. Scan mirrors, check your dashboard, look ahead but also side to side. Vary your speed slightly if possible. Take regular breaks every couple of hours or so. Get out, stretch, walk around. Avoid driving when you're naturally tired.
Stay actively engaged. Good advice. What if someone is tailgating you, driving way too close behind? What's the safe response?
First, stay calm. Don't escalate things by brake checking them. That's dangerous and illegal.
Right.
Maintain a constant speed. If possible, and if it's safe, you might consider moving over to let them pass. If you can't, or if they persist and you feel genuinely unsafe, don't go home. Drive to a well-lit, populated area like a police station or a busy shopping center.
Don't lead them to your house. Smart. Okay, construction zones. We see those orange signs. What do they generally look like?
Typically, construction and maintenance warning signs are diamond-shaped or rectangular, and they're always orange with black lettering or symbols.
That bright orange really stands out.
It's designed to. It screams, caution, work zone ahead, expect changes, slow down.
Right. Pay extra attention. If you're unlucky enough to be one of the first people at an accident scene, what are the absolute first things you should do?
Safety first, your own and others. If possible, pull over safely away from the crash. Then the immediate priority is to call 911 or your local emergency number.
Call for help right away.
Yes. Report the location and what you see. Then check on the people involved if it's safe for you to approach. Offer comfort, but don't move anyone who seems seriously injured unless they're in immediate danger, like from fire. Render basic first aid only if you're trained.
Okay, call first, then assess and assist safely. What about needing to turn around, but there's just no room for a U-turn? What's that other maneuver?
That's the three-point turn, or sometimes called a K-turn. It's where you pull forward towards the curb, back up across the road, and then pull forward again to go the other way.
Yeah.
It lets you reverse direction in a tight space. Requires careful checking for traffic, of course.
A useful skill for tight spots.
Okay.
On highways, that solid white line on the right edge of the road, what's the area beyond that line on the shoulder meant for?
Emergencies only.
Not for driving.
Definitely not for driving or passing or just pulling over for a non-emergency phone call. It's there for breakdowns, for emergency vehicles, or if you absolutely have to stop due to a genuine emergency situation.
Reserve space for when things go wrong. Got it. Let's touch on overtaking again. Can you list some specific times when it's absolutely unsafe to pass another vehicle?
Sure. Number one, when approaching or in an intersection. Too much going on.
Okay.
When approaching a railroad crossing, never there. When your view is blocked by a curve or a hill, if you can't see far enough ahead, don't pull out. Definitely when there are solid yellow lines in your lane. And critically, when a school bus ahead has its red lights flashing and stop arm extended, you must stop them, not pass.
Right. Those are all absolute no-go situations for passing. Very clear. One more turn scenario. Turning left from a two-way street onto a one-way street. Which lane do you start from and which lane do you end up in?
You start the turn from the leftmost lane available on the two-way street, the one closest to the center dividing line.
Okay, start far left.
And you turn into the leftmost available lane on the one-way street. Left lane turns into left lane, keeps things orderly, and avoids conflict with anyone turning right onto that same one-way street.
Left to left. Got it. What about just backing up? Seems simple, but what's key for safety?
Looking. Don't just rely on your mirrors or backup camera, though you use them. You absolutely must turn your head and look back through the rear window.
Why is physically looking back so important?
Mirrors and cameras have blind spots. Small children, pets, low objects, they might not show up. Physically turning and looking gives you the best possible view of what's directly behind you. It's crucial.
Look over your shoulder. Fundamental.
And just one last time, if there's no room for a U-turn, the move is.
The three-point turn. Carefully executed.
Okay. Wow, we've covered a lot of ground there. So many essential rules and just good knowledge points for driving safely.
Yeah, and I think the main thing to pull from all this is that safe driving isn't just one thing. It's like this combination of knowing the actual rule.
Right, like the signs and lane markings.
It also being constantly aware, paying attention to what's around you, anticipating what might happen.
And just having responsible habits behind the wheel.
Exactly. It's about creating that predictable, safe space for yourself and, well, for everyone else sharing the road with you.
That's a great summary. So considering everything we've talked about today, all these fundamental rules and ideas, here's a final thought for you, the listener, to mull over.
What's one common driving habit, maybe something you do, or something you often see other drivers doing, that you think, based on our conversation, could be most improved for overall road safety? Just one habit. Think about what changing that one thing could mean for making our roads safer for everybody.